Hi guys, Juan from Dieselheat here. We've done quite a big install on a bus that we want to show you a bit. It goes across a few different products. So we'll go one by one. We'll start with the stoves. So this customer will have a 1200D, which is a diesel stove, and an induction stove that is been designed by Gasless to fit, like you can see here, together. So you've got, when you're on power, you can use the induction, and when you're off grid, you can use the diesel cooktop that is a lot better on the resources. One of the challenges for installing anything that is diesel was to manage the exhaust systems, because we've got pins underneath, so we're not going through the floor. And in this case, we have gone with the diesel stove through the side with a howl fitting, as if it was a boat. We can show you on the other side as well how it looks. But basically here we've got the exhaust system of the stove, and also we can see, and we can move into the air heater, which in this case, we took out a gas heater that was on the bus. It was an old an old gas heater, and they had quite an interesting setup. The gas heater was sitting on a flange, and that flange was feeding air into the hole and the floor. And through the floor, we have different vents. So instead of that, we put a 6 kilowatt air dispatcher heater. And this heater is now feeding into this box. This box is a collector, which basically feeds all the air into that false floor, but also feeds air into a vent on the toilet, which, to have better control, we adapted and put a closed vent. So if we're in really cold conditions, we can blast all the air heating through the floor. And I have to say that it works actually really well. It creates this sense of heated floors. So I think the customer will be very happy with that. So we've got here the controller. The controller is not only controlling that air heater, but also controlling the hot water system that I'm going to show you later on. And on the other side, while we're here in the bathroom, we also installed a digital mixing valve, so they can tap there and put the temperature that they want on the shower. And then they just open the hot water and they will have the exact temperature that they want. We pair the system with our high Sierra shower heads, which they're really nice to conserve the water because they're 4.7 liters a minute. And they produce a really nice pattern to have a feeling of a decent shower at a low flow rate, which is good for the performance of the system, but also the off-grid concept of keeping the water in your tanks and staying as long as you can out there. I reckon let's go underneath and we'll show you what there is underneath the bus. Okay, now we are on the outside of the bus, and here we can see on the outside the exhaust systems coming out through marine hull fittings. This would be the Wallace for the diesel cooktop, and this one is for the air heater. Going below on the bin, we'll see the new hot water system. This is quite a nice setup for these people, because now they've got, they used to have a gas 22-liter system, and now they have a 40-liter that is 240 volts plus diesel. So they can run the diesel furnace and heat it up pretty quick. But then if they're in short power, it can be always connected to 240 volts and be all the time heating up. And I'm not sure if you can see from here, but on the top there, you will be able to see the mixing valve. Maybe we will have to go to the other side. Okay, so what we've done to power, to feed fuel to these systems is a manifold that you can see there. And that is coming from a pickup on the top of the tank, which is shared with the generator. So that will feed all of the appliances. Okay, so when we were inside, I showed you in the bathroom that there was a controller to dial the temperature of the water. Here is the mixing valve. That is what is producing the mixing digitally, so the customer can dial from there and have the exact temperature that they want.